Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and we're going to go a little bit into Wall Street bets today and the silver squeeze, which of course is trending everywhere. At this moment, it's almost impossible to get silver anywhere because basically every single website that sells silver is overrun. They're basically out of silver, and then of course you have to trust a lot of these major applications to buy ETFs on silver, and that's an issue as well, which I'm going to go into in a moment. But I do want to point out that I've been talking about doing short squeezes of silver going back to about 2010, 2011. And I spoke back then about how we could help to bring down the dollar by doing this and bring down the stock market. And of course, I sounded crazy back then. I still sound kind of crazy, but nonetheless, we're really seeing that start to take place today. You have to remember that over the last 100 years almost, for the most part, we've seen this massive manipulation scheme for silver and gold. Silver more than anything. Silver is one of the most undervalued assets in my opinion. And watching this take place recently has made me a little bit more optimistic about the world going forward, because it shows that a bunch of trolls on Reddit could pretty much bring down the system as we know it, completely screwing over hedge funds that are heavily owned by Rothschilds, Soros, Buffetts, these kinds of people that have been masquerading as good guys while basically screwing over the little guy for a long time. And now we see both left and right supporting this short squeezing and booting these pigs essentially out of the market. These people that basically prey on stupid people and poor people. So anyway, we're going to get Tim BitChute to talk about this with us a bit in the next couple days. Of course, he is a certified financial planner, the LBRY advisor. You could go to the links below and become a client of his if you want. But his kids are over today, so that's kind of impossible at the moment. But nonetheless, I think this is really important. So we have all these people flooding to silver, which is great. BNP Paribas, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, all these guys have been caught red-handed manipulating the silver price for years, which we've been reporting on for many years. Now when push comes to shove, as I've always said, eventually people will realize they're being screwed, and eventually they're going to fight back. And that's what we're seeing right now, where we see a bunch of Redditors calling on buying up all these basically shorted stocks, that are these failing stocks. But I really think silver is better than the other ones, because silver isn't something that's going to fail tomorrow. While I hate to say it, GameStop and these other guys, they're not going to. AMC, like, you got to put your money into a good business. But something that happened that I've been talking about for a very long time here is that Robinhood and these other apps shut people down, and we saw the true colors of the establishment basically telling people that they couldn't buy and they could only sell, and it was for their own good, basically nannying like everything else in life. So unfortunately, while people are going towards silver and stuff, not enough people are going, well, wait a second, Bitcoin solves this, cryptocurrency solved this, Uniswap solves this. Unfortunately, a lot of people are still going, well, maybe we should just, I don't know, we're stuck, I don't know what to do. Maybe we'll buy this stock on this other app or this other exchange, or tell the establishment to stop being so establishmentarianist. It's like, that's not how this is going to work. That's not how this is going to be solved. This will be solved by people decentralizing. The best way to do this is by using things like Uniswap or SushiSwap. Getting off of these centralized exchanges, including with crypto, and getting off these massive Wall Street propped up apps that only benefit the guys that screw over the little guys on Wall Street. And so I think the next big thing, and we will see this happen, is people are going to start buying up not just gold and silver, but cryptocurrency. And a bunch of people on Reddit, sharing memes, are going to completely overthrow the system as we know it. And it's about time. But Bitcoin, yes. Doge, no, not so much. It's a funny joke, but let's get real. There's certain things that we should be looking at and certain things that are eventually going to crash big time. Can Doge get to $1? Sure. But a troll campaign is fun and stuff, but you know what's better is things that have fundamental value of some kind that are useful, like, well, Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like, well, SushiSwap and Uniswap, like Flote, like so many of the other, Monero, as far as privacy goes. So I think we're going to see a huge amount of people go into these kinds of assets, currencies, wealth preservation tools, and that's going to change everything we thought we knew, well, most people thought they knew about the markets, and it's going to have a lot of these big institutional hedge funds scratching their head going, what's going on? What did we do wrong? Well, I mean, you forgot that the internet exists and things change and things naturally decentralize over time, as I've always said. But I've noticed it's very difficult to buy silver today. That's another reason why we should look towards these decentralized applications. You're still asking the government, like giving government money to buy things on these centralized apps, to buy silver ETFs. You'd be better off buying physical silver. Silver is meant as wealth insurance more than an investment any day, as I've always said. I've never looked at silver as an investment. But also, you can use decentralized currencies that are, again, the difference between cashless decentralized and cashless centralized is cashless centralized means if your money's in the bank, it's not yours, it's the bank's. If your money's always going through the banks via digital transactions and legal tender laws, it's never your money, it's always the bank's, and you are essentially enslaved to the banking system and the government. Whereas if you are using something like Bitcoin that's actually decentralized, you're going to end up with an uncensorable, unconfiscatable currency or asset or whatever you want to call it. And therefore you can keep your money safe from this mass censorship that we're witnessing. The establishment comes out in big numbers when you try and pull on its tail, but you know, there's other ways to do it that will deem them powerless. It's time to start focusing on this more than these stocks. You can screw over Wall Street by buying Bitcoin. I talked about Bitcoin back when it was $15, telling people maybe you should be looking into Bitcoin, maybe you should be getting in. I wish I followed my own advice to a greater extent, but nonetheless, here we are. And it's now at 34,000 as I speak, 34,000 US dollars. It's been up as high as 40,000. People called it dead off and on, going back since 2010. Peter Schiff comes to mind. But it is a tool at which you can utilize in order to break yourself apart from the establishment, have your own uncensorable, unconfiscatable money, and also, I mean, possibly make huge gains while you're at it. And Wall Street hates it. Central banks around the world hate it, as they print insane amounts of currency and basically print people into oblivion, cause massive issues for the impoverished, while of course locking everyone down at the same time. This is an opportunity to be able to use something that they can't change, that they hate, that governments around the world are trying to mitigate by creating their own digital currencies that are centralized, attached to bank accounts, in order to attach everyone to social credit and control every movement they make and follow them everywhere they go, and basically create a bigger control complex than we are already witnessing around the world. So now is the time, my friends, in my opinion, this is not investment advice, but now is the time to decentralize and use these tools. And we will soon see how much that pays off, not just in your wallet, but how much that pays off as far as freedom goes and independence goes, individualism goes, the end of collectivism. Anyway, of course, as soon as I started filming, the sun went away. It was a beautiful day here in Phoenix, Arizona. Until that happened, nonetheless, it's a pretty good day for freedom as far as the motivation by the little guy to overthrow the Goliath, and I hope to continue to watch that happen. I hope people move away from stocks and into decentralized assets. And of course, as far as gold and silver goes, that's a great thing. Physical value is a great thing. But don't depend on things that have such huge market caps to fluctuate as wildly as you expected, or as you saw Dogecoin go, or even GameStop to an extent. But if we see silver go to $1,000, which it really should be already, considering it's been manipulated so heavily, but it should be there already, then I can't even imagine how crazy things are going to get and how heated things are going to get on Wall Street and at the White House and on Capitol Hill and in Parliament and wherever you are in the world. This is going to be a game changer, my friends. We are witnessing history. This is the Wild West, and I love the Wild West. So I'm in the Wild West currently. So anyway, silver will probably skyrocket, but crypto is going to skyrocket even more and will be more censorship proof long term. The government can go to your house and seize your silver. They can't seize a private key from your head unless you give it to them. Think about that, my friends. Anyway, we'll get back to this at a more macro level very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Make sure to hit the like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell. Of course, we're on BitChute, LBRY/Odysee, as well as Flote.app. Join us at FloteFest. Go to flotefest.com, FLOTEFEST.com, and join us in Gaz, Texas, from March 8th to the 11th as we camp and get together as a community. Tickets below. Also, you could donate it to us in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, to our CoinTree link, where you can find a bunch of different cryptocurrencies you can donate in, including Monero if you want to keep things private. And of course, we are on gogetfunding.com, Patreon, Subscribestar. We have a PayPal, we have a Teespring store, and you could join our newsletter at www.iamband.com. We'll be back with you guys with Tim BitChute, the Liberty Advisor, to talk about this more in depth at a macro level. You can find him at thelibertyadvisor.com. Look forward to hearing from you guys. And of course, go to Twitter. We're at World Alt Media. And like our tweets, follow us, and change your bio to #Bitcoin and see the revolution take place right in front of your eyes. We can take this world back from the criminals, but we have to destabilize their house of cards before we can do that. It's starting to happen. Don't allow it to be controlled and sent in centralized directions. Decentralize everything, my friends. Live freely, live by example. And more importantly, the biggest currency you can have is your freedom. On top of that, bullets. But anyway, appreciate everyone watching, and until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.